𝗘𝗱𝗶𝗃𝗏 at ABB. Giving a brief introduction for her, an HR professional with global, regional and local experience at leadership level. Also has experience in all factors of HR, Center of Excellence, HRBP and shared services across geographies. She has a strong experience in leading large transformational change management projects and project management, experience from conceptualizing to execution. With this, please welcome her with a huge round of applause.
Being an HR professional, it's pretty close to my heart, so I'm all the more charged up. So, skill and talent management for effective shared services. Just to give you a little background, I am right now a global head HRBP for one of the businesses, robotics business in ABB. However, just before this, I was head of shared services HR globally for ABB as well. So I have lived both the sides when it comes to HR arena in last few years in ABB. So just to, start with, what is that one thing which makes all the difference? And with my own experience, receiving the service from shared service as well and giving the service from shared service as well, I want to start with a small video because I'm a big fan of a pictorial representation. So just to show you the video. Super. So this is what it says, that one extra degree. And in my opinion, that one extra degree comes from skill and talent management. And if you really ask me, also done that job, leaving that job also, that one extra degree is added or a catalyst added by something like a shared service to business as well. So that turning up the heat is actually coming through shared service. So moving on to how does skill and talent management become that one extra degree, and how do we do it, and probably I'll give you certain examples how do we do it in ABB as well for your reference. So moving on, I mean, just to give you a little bit of context, in ABB, we started this journey 6-7 years back, and we were already very late in the journey because you know, many of our competitors and also the industry has done the shared service, lived it quite ahead in the journey. However, ABB came to this journey and we wanted to establish global shared services. Of course, one was in Bangalore, one was in Poland, and we wanted to do in 18 months time frame because we were a little far away or we were quite behind in the journey. So we wanted to do a massive speed and, you know, go ahead and do not just HR, finance, IS, all shared services in 18 months. Like any other organization, we also had implementation partners and stuff like that. And they came, of course, they took a lot of money from us as well, and they told us certain things. When I took this job as a shared service head, honestly, I didn't even know what KC meant. I mean, I didn't even know what transition manager meant. So, and they took me in a room and they said, okay, look, guys, this is what it means. And I came out of the room in the coffee break and I said, look, I don't even understand the language. How will I even do the job? And that time, my boss only told me one thing, that you have a desired skill. It's about learning, you know, around it and making, or you rather have desired competency and just add it a little more skill around it and you'll be there. And that is the simple mantra I took forward and actually took the role of leading 250 people today, actually, which is a running center in Bangalore from last 4 years and absolutely serving 140 countries across the globe from Bangalore. So that one, you know, that one catalyst, that one extra degree is done not by just understanding how a particular thing is done, but also just having that competency around it and the right leadership around it. So when we said we need to have shared service, simple, this was those 5-step mantra. And if you see the most important, I'll start with there, aligning roles with abilities. So this is where, again, we talk about talent as the center of everything we do, and then we started aligning roles with ability. And a very important step we did at that time was, unlike probably any other company, and you have to correct me if I'm wrong, we took the entire leadership who implemented the shared service, all old ABBians, none of them even know what shared service means because we never had a central setup like that. And entire team was brought up from market. So the simple fundamental was that we need leaders who understand, and we need skills from the market because we definitely need those skills to run the setup. So but we always had this hybrid model. We never went ahead and said, okay, let's have all the leaders and all the people completely new, because that hybrid of talent understanding was super important for us. Because I'll tell you, you know, when I used to have those briefs with those consultants, they used to tell me shared service, ABB is a European company, we are always with blazers pretty much. And they told me, no, shared service, people come with Bermudas and stuff like that. I mean, there is nothing wrong in it. But I got a shock saying that, look, this doesn't work in ABB. So it's very important that we establish something which get absorbed with ABB, not just we start changing or we create a completely different entity which can't absorb in the current set or scheme of things. And today, if you see, it's again, I feel very proud and really happy. In fact, I've left the role as well now, and somebody else is running it magnificently. But the whole idea is that we have created a body which is like any other business or any other business line in ABB. So this is where very important step was there. Then step 4, if you see, tailoring organization structure. So there again, we ensured, consultants came to me and said, we had to do the transition of Australia, and it took us 6 months. My deadline was 18 months. I had to get 45 million savings, and I have no idea how to do rest 40 countries in the rest of the time. And that is the time we really thought, again, comes to talent management and skills. We have people across the globe who's been doing these jobs. It's just that the knowledge is there, how to get it to the center place and wisely, and not really having those KC, KT long sessions for long months. So what we did was that when we had to do South Asia, then we get all the countries to Bangalore. With that, two things happen. They got belief that this can work, because all those in Malaysia, Indonesia, they always used to think that probably we can't even deliver, because they had threat that they might lose jobs and stuff like that. So we got all 20-25 HR, and first of all, when I used to travel with my team, I used to take 25 or 30 people from here, which doesn't make sense, because any which ways we sit in one place and keep writing SOPs. They came here, they saw the setup, they saw the office, they got a little belief, they got friendly with the teams. Then we had a mass SOP writing at one place, so that they are also comfortable with their fellow colleagues. There are other people who are also going through it. So this is another thing where we use a little unique methodology to run this, those skills and ensure that we learn from each other. And then streamlining systems and procedures. Enough have been spoken, so I'll not talk about it. Defining responsibility and enlisting experienced leaders and partners. So if you see 5 out of 3 things, we really focused completely on skill, talent management, leadership. And again, a very important thing we kept in mind, and this is very close to my heart as an HRBP also. We believed in creating leadership and not just leaders. Because if I create a leader in my team, probably he or she might get a very good performance rating, or he or she might get promoted. But we believed in creating leadership across, so that if things go wrong, and especially in a shared service setup, you need people to stand up for such things when things go wrong. I mean, I'm sure you guys live in all these things more than me. I mean, when we did payroll or compensation cycle for Australia, everything goes going wrong. Somebody's calling me middle of the night, your team doesn't perform, and all kind of things. So when all those things happen, we need leaders. I mean, we need leaders with the entire team to come with leadership component and stand there. Not just couple of leaders who are standing up, and that year they will get a good performance rating, and rest all just goes away. So this is where we really believed in that mantra. Moving on to the next slide. If you see, this is what the one real slide that we followed. Bring in synergies to deal with talent war. Long-term investment requires nurturing time, effort, and will. There isn't just one road. So simple. If you see, this is what we had. I mean, I don't want to read this slide. You can see it's self-explanatory. We have lateral movements, on-the-job learning. We have enough people who became from shared service to HRBP. I myself came back to my HRBP, which was also once upon a time my first love, rather now it's shared service. But then, people really took a lot of roles. So it gives a lot of belief that it's not just a center or somebody is delivering services and all of that. It's like entire setup. So if it's a finance shared service, they are part of finance community. They are everywhere, including wherever. I mean, it's not that there is any separation. And another thing, when we talk about HR, we took all functional expert. I mean, we had enough people came and convinced me also that a shared service job of HR can be done probably by a supply chain guy or a finance guy. Maybe yes, in terms of KPIs and stuff like that. But you need functional understanding, especially when you talk to countries and resolve their queries. When you have to understand global mobility. When you have to understand there is an issue in performance payout of a certain country. So really functional experts we need. We can't simply say that, look, you know KPI and you know OTD and that's about it. So this is the belief that we really created. The things we will not repeat, and this is the slide I created when I came out of shared service, that judgment. Judgment whether lift or shift, or lift, shift, fix approach. That's a very important judgment. We did lift and shift. Some things I look back and still say probably could have been differently done. Of course, that doesn't mean that's right or wrong, but you need, or you or she, or anybody rather, should look what decision you want to take at that span of time. ABB is currently also on 36 HR ERP platforms. We are going live on Fusion hopefully next year, but we still are on so many ERP platforms, and we had to do lift and shift, because if we would have fixed it and lifted, then it would have taken another 10 years. So we wanted to do that. System stability check. another thing. Then language dependent, not to be lifted unless good employee pool available. One other mistake we did was we actually lifted work from China. And in China, even the CVs are in Mandarin. So these kind of mistakes, so we can do everything in Bangalore, we can get all kind of, because the problem is, we also got another 10 people to do that job. But then once they resign, I mean, it takes as much as effort as much to hire a CEO here in terms of the language dependency. So yeah, that's another thing we need to be very careful of. Breaking the process too much. Also to make it the center of expertise, shared service, 𝗘𝗶𝗶𝗃, 3-pillar, all that, sometimes you break process too much, which is not good for managers. And this is my first-hand complaint now as 𝗘𝗶𝗃 also, because I received that service. And last but most important, mix of talent between external and internal. I just spoke in the beginning. So that's very important that you have a good mix when you are entering to this sphere. GBS setup to transformation. This is like, if you see, if there is a company which has these 3 pillars, which pretty much all of us have, they announce it or they don't announce it in some fashion, skill and talent, process training, communication, collaboration, and scope alignment. This only leads to any sort of successful HR transformation, not just shared service. I mean, today ABB has moved out of shared service transformation. We are entering into launching something like a Workday. However, that also needs only these 4 things. So this is like becomes the mantra when it comes to launching any successful HR transformation. And again, we can together only transform this kind of big projects. This is a very interesting slide, and somebody who is from industrial sector will relate to me. When somebody asked me, why do we need shared service? And I'm sure all of us have been asked this question because when work goes to a central space, especially from a factory setup, probably people decision-making power goes away from them. They actually asked me that this is the factory of ABB, and these are 3 countries in ABB, and actually all the 3 factories from last, I don't know, 50 years almost look the same. So when I ask this question to anybody and say that, can you identify which countries are those? You just can't identify. I mean, actually the first one is India, another one is Germany, and the third is China, but you can't recognize. So the point here I'm trying to tell is that factories have standardized long back. And when it comes to to all those management staff processes, we are still not there. And that is the reason. They're so standardized that a particular product factory pretty much look the same, irrespective of the geography they are in. So this is where the whole thing which ABB wanted to drive, that if they can do it 50 years back, what is stopping us to do it in all the processes that we run now in the company? So this is the whole thing, and this is the reason we wanted high skill and talent oriented people and leaders in the company. So this is just one example how we ensure that somebody come in shared service doesn't mean that they only do all kind of transactional stuff only. This is one example, just to give you a little bit example. So we also do people analytics, okay? And people analytics is one thing as 𝗘𝗶𝗃 I know business really needs. Sometimes as 𝗘𝗶𝗃, even from the time I was a junior 𝗘𝗶𝗃, my business manager only used to think, if you can give me right exit data, that's enough. Because that is the only expectation they have from HR. Some of them are smiling actually, but yeah, because annualized attrition, YTD attrition, still this is going around in all those things, and some of us still get troubled with that. So we have a team of 20 people analytics they do. And if you see the level 1, so we created 3 types of team there. Level 1 is like data support, shortlisting, standardized answers. Then we have strategic deep insights, practical point of view, robotics, process automation, and knowledge-based specialists. And then value-adding activities like predictive analytics, data modeling. So within the team as well, there is chances for you to move. Because you can, I mean, in a shared service, it's very easy to say you got a promotion from this grade to this grade, 13, 14, senior manager, junior manager, very soon, very senior manager, very junior manager. You can play around with those things. But eventually, if your work doesn't differ, I mean, people do get very irritated and they leave the jobs. And not that we have 3% attrition in shared service. We also do get trouble, but at the end of the day, there are good set of people which we are able to retain, because we all know we can't retain all of them. But there is a good amount of people which we really want them to make careers, because we also really allow them to move in 3 years. My personal philosophy has been that if you are not changing a role in 24 months, then it's really not, then you're really not doing favor to your own career. Because then you very easily you get into a comfort zone. Of course, now coming to this level is not super easy, but I've actually done for first 15 years of my career that. And this is where we try and promote that you please keep changing roles or profile, or keep adding certain things to your profile that really adds. And this is one function, but actually if you want, I can tell you, I have this for pretty much all functions in shared service, and we do global mobility, compensation, everything in HR shared service as well. So yeah, this is, success mantra. I'll start from here, I really like this. Penny wise, pound foolish. First 2 years of shared service, don't think about cost. Cost return arbitrage will come. But first 2-3 years, we really didn't. Our average cost per employee was 9.5 lakhs. And we were okay with it because we didn't know the job. I mean, I don't know the job, they don't know the job, then how will we do it? I mean, so that was very important, and that's why I said initially we were not penny wise, pound foolish. Stakeholder management, not always on back foot. We were taking work away from every country. Indonesia country managing director, when I landed in Indonesia, told me, look, not Indonesia, Philippines. He told me that, look, my country is cheaper than yours. We speak English. Why do we take work to Bangalore? And he made sense. So something like stakeholder management is very important, because I was there on the ground to convince him, first of all, how does it make their life better for him and all his managers? And secondly, how to the entire ABB it brings the cost down. Because they are engineers. ABB is an engineering company. You don't talk numbers, they don't understand. So simple fundamental, we really used stakeholder management as one thing, and we really traveled like mad, but it really worked. I mean, that cost arbitrage get controlled in 3rd, 4th year, and we have really seen it. Consulting partners should follow the culture. So whatever partner you appoint, they should not tell you what you should do in your company. You should eventually tell, and after 3-4 months when you learn the job, play by your own rules. Just take the basics from them, how things to be done. Otherwise, you can't meet the targets. And team and talent make all the difference. So I started that with 10 people. Now it's 450 across the globe. And the point is that, it's only the team that which can make it possible. First 10 people is super critical. That's about it. So this is what I wanted to tell, that in terms of skill and talent management, it's an area, irrespective of, even if HR, finance, IS, or anybody, any function for that matter, going a little deeper into it, understanding the choice. However, business comes first. So take that into the account and move forward. So that's about it from my side. Thank you so much. Any questions, please? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take one quick question.
Yeah, my name is Ramesh. I am from GMR Group. So now this shared service is a evolving phenomena. How you manage this attrition and keep motivating people where the market is the buyer's market, not the seller's market?
See, you don't manage attrition. I mean, being an HRBP also for so long, you deal with it in a very customized manner based on the business that you work for. So I'll give you quickly I do have 1 minute, just one example. One of our business has specially, and ABB kind of company in business can't have so much attrition. What happened, there was too much attrition, and we normally, like an HRBP, I did YTD, annualized all of that, and it was showing, and some people have written in exit interview something, but it was not making sense. So we hired a partner and did subjective interviews for all the people who have left. And the pitch before we did the interview from the business manager was, saying that, look guys, salary is the only thing, okay? And which is fine, probably that is. But it's very important to really understand, because now I'm sure most of us also understand salary might be one of the item, but not all the time maybe the triggering force. So then we really figured out that that's a business which is a sales-driven business. And in sales, sometimes what happens when sales don't happen, some managers actually tend to really talk in a language which is not acceptable. And that's what exactly was happening in that particular business. And that became such a huge noise that some people said, look, I'm not here to hear all of that, right? And this is where we got in subjective interviews, which probably if I would have asked, they would have not told. So like this, basically I'm trying to say, we have to find out the real crux, understand first of all, which, even if it's a shared service, understand if it's an HR shared service, maybe understand the 5 basics of that business, and then work around on a very, very tailor-made solution out there. Yeah, please, gentlemen. Yeah.
I'm Sharma from GMR. I have one typical question. Thanks a lot for you first. You've given a good presentation.
Thank you.
After selecting the candidate and BGV verification over and order also you issued, appointment order. He has to join after 30 days, 29 days over, and the 30th day came, and that day evening he has given, I'm not joining. What is your reaction on that? Any policy is there? And BGV you spent more money. How you will manage this cost? I request you to.
Yeah. I mean, this pain I also share completely. Thank you for that. Oh, yeah. So, see, again, and really accepted, you can't really do much. What we can do, and very important to do, and I think many of the companies doing, we are also doing, is that there is actually a special team we have of 2 people whose job is from the day of sending the appointment, from the day of till the day of joining. Their job is to keep talking every 5 days, talking in terms of, is your relocation done? Have you really taken your experience certificate? Have you really, are you comfortable? Have your car moved? You know, all those kind of administration factors. If you keep having, I'm sure all of us have left jobs and joined others. Till the time you join the company, you're always nice to that HR person, right? You pick up the call and, you know, that recruiter and all of that. So then they also tell you, look, you know, this is the problem, and then help them solve that. Do you need a person to find houses? So this is a team which we call it Employee Connect team, or sometimes you call it something else. But these are the kind of things which you need to do. You need to appoint in your onboarding team. So next time you tell your HR, I'm sure even the smallest of the company will have an onboarding team, because they have to run payroll. Just a step after payroll, after you offer the letter, is an onboarding team. An onboarding team is nothing which puts a master data, which ensure that your transfers, promotions, everything is recorded. That onboarding team, one important job is to keep the connect and keep the employee very connected till the time they join. And this really works. I mean, at least, I'm not saying 100% will go, but good amount of things. Because also it's a very feel-good factor, right, till the time. Because the moment you resign from your previous company, you are a little disconnected there. And if there is somebody who's connecting you till that time, it makes a little difference. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.